So let's go check out the white one down here. So the two wheels that one is missing looks like this one has. So probably what I'll do is take these off and stick it on the red one over there. Sadly, I don't have titles for any of them, but for $300 cars, can't complain but too much, right? There's also a dual carb 911 engine that is thrown into this, as well as a ton of parts. The gentleman that I bought them from still has to go through the parts. We've got a GT wheel. This one is also a manual transmission. I don't know if they came in automatic or not. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know anything about these. We've got a BBS wheel cover. That's cool. So yeah, I'm really pleased with these. I will definitely make 2 vehicles out of these. I don't know if they will be roadworthy because there's no titles. I don't know the years. 944. But yeah, I'd say that's a good score. So the first thing that I need to do is get these reference sensors changed. Here is a reference sensor. It goes into a very tight fitting hole all the way underneath the intake manifold. So it is very difficult to get to. I've already got the old one out. I had to take the entire bracket out. So now I need to fit a new one. This is a used one. I was just showing you what it looked like. So I need to get that done, and then I need to go over all of the wires that are in the engine bay. Make sure none of them are going to touch. When I turn this car on, I do not want any shorts or blown fuses, or I don't want it to burn down. So I do see that there's a little bit missing here. There's a coolant hose. I'm going to assume this goes here somewhere, maybe. I don't know, or it could be possible vacuum hose. I don't think so, but I don't know. I do have a manual for this car, but I don't know anything about this car. So the air filter assembly box goes here. There was an acorn in the hole. There's a little bit left of it. So I know that there has been a mouse, if not still in the car. There's a ton of mouse feces and urine on the inside, especially in the dash. Every time I touch it, it's raining mouse dew. I'm going to assume most of these hoses are going to be bad. This car did sit in a field for 14 years approximately. I don't know the last time that it was running, but the last time that it was at least registered was in 2010. So it could have ran in between those years, but I'm going to say at least off the road for 14 years. So first order of business is going to be these sensors. You are probably not going to be able to see. Actually, before I do that, I think I should probably vacuum up in the engine bay. There is a lot of cobwebs and dirt and just random mess. I don't want to fall into the bell housing when I remove that bag. So I'm going to go through here, clean it up as best I can, and then I will bring you back when it is time to try and get into that little teeny tiny hole there. So let me clean this up real quick. All right, so I'm going to get down in there. I don't know, there's nowhere I can put you, so I'm just gonna have to do it and then come back. So I will come back when I'm done. I'm gonna say that was easy, but it definitely was not. So the new reference sensors are in. There's the front and the rear. I got the mount to the correct spacing, the adjustment. So this first screw, you loosen it and it can pivot on that back screw back there. You can't see it, it's underneath the reference sensor. But if you loosen this, it'll make that whole thing pivot. It needs to be 0.80 millimeters, so that way it is the correct height for when the little nubs on the flywheel comes by, and that's what picks up the magnetic signal. So let's go. I've got the battery off charge, stuck that in there. Let's go turn the key, see what this does. Hopefully we will get some tack bounce. The tack bounce just means that the reference sensors are in there correctly. That is extremely dirty. I doubt you'd be able to see anything. So let's see, we're gonna watch that line there. I really hope. So we have dash lights and such. That is amazing. Ah! Oh, I'm so excited. That is a huge step that is done. That was the biggest pain I have ever done, as far as just, there's no room at all to work in there. So you've got to undo the top Allen bolts that are holding the reference sensors in. So you have to have an extremely short one, but it also has to be thick enough, which that was what I was running into. All the ones that I had were extremely long. And then you've got to have an even bigger one to fit that way, but it's very little room in there at all. I had to move a couple things that I hope I remember where they go back. So I guess, let me grab a spare spark plug. We'll pop one of these spark plug wires off of there and see if we have spark. If we do, I'm gonna get some gas or something, put it down the intake, see if we can get it to fire off. If so, that will be amazing. All right, so I could not find a spare spark plug, so let's pop one of these out because I am on a time crunch and I want to be able to test this. I just broke a vacuum line, that's fine. That was my alarm. I've got 10 minutes. All right, they're a little oily. I have done things to this car previously. I cannot remember what exactly because it's been so long. It wasn't very much. I think I have taken at least one of these spark plugs out. Let's see. Now, if I can see this. Oh! Did you see it? Did you see it? That is spark. Now, I need something flammable. Oh, that is amazing. All right, let's get this spark plug in really quick and then we'll stick some gas in it and see if we can get it to fire off. I have no idea what this is going to do, so let's hope it doesn't catch fire or anything. Yeah, baby! Yes! That was amazing. Let's do it again. That was probably way too much in there. That was amazing. Let's back you up. Yeah! Oh, that is a huge, huge, huge accomplishment. So I did find this spare DME relay. I don't think that I've been hearing the fuel pump when I turn the key on. So I'm guessing this is probably bad. I can test. I believe you can test by jumping to make the pump just constantly run without the relay. So maybe we'll see if I can do that to see if it is the relay or the actual pump itself. I'm sure there's extremely bad gas in that tank. I'm sure it's varnished. It's been sitting for a good while, I'm sure. But that sounded amazing. I mean, it didn't sound amazing, but it ran. So I am extremely, extremely happy with that. I have no idea if the cooling system is good. I have no idea if anything else is good. I have no clutch pedal. I don't think I have a brake pedal. The clutch pedal, when I push it all the way down, it's just like no resistance at all. So possibly the clutch is stuck to the flywheel, or yeah, the clutch is stuck. I hope I don't have to drop the transmission, but for now, I know that I can proceed with this car. That is a huge, huge, huge relief. Doesn't mean that the engine is any good. Doesn't mean that the transmission is any good, but I heard it run. It popped off. That is amazing. So let me get my thoughts together and figure out what the next step will be. Okay, so now that we got it to start and run for a second or two, I want to get into the fuel system because I know that is going to be varnished and extremely nasty gas just because it has been sitting for a while. So I need to get the fuel rail disconnected so that way I can get to the fuel line and put a bottle or something so that way we can see if the fuel pump is working. I don't think that it is because I have not heard it kick on when I turn the key. So I've got to check that DME relay. I've got one here that I got out of the black Porsche. Don't know if it's any good, but we'll stick it in and see. If not, I can try to rob the one out of the red Porsche. Maybe that works. I don't know. So let's get this end cap off. I've got my good buddy Manuel here. Mr. Haynes Manuel. He tells me things every once in a while. It helps out. But from what he said, you have to disconnect the fuse that makes the fuel pump work. Run the car until it turns off because of lack of fuel. I mean, the fuel that it got was from the bottle that I put in it. So I'm pretty sure there should be no pressure in the system. That end cap is not coming off easy at all. I don't know how much. I mean, I wouldn't think that it would be an insane amount of pressure, but who knows? Might put a hole in my door. Yep, so it seems like no pressure. Also, if you are doing this, there is a ball. Let's see. Right here. Oh, that actually has a ball in there. That's got some rust. But we do have something very nasty coming out. I'm gonna stick that back on for a second and see if we can get a urine sample from it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get that on there or not, but let's see. Definitely doesn't smell very good. Alright, we're going to let that pool up for just a minute or two. I just want to see what it looks like. Yeah, if wake up camera. You can kind of see the rust spot on there, so I don't know if it has to be completely smooth. I'm guessing so because it is a sealing ball. So I don't know. Might be able to just clean it and put it back in and it'd be okay, or might need a replacement. So I'm gonna let that drip for a little bit and then I will get that fuel rail off. So I let that drip for a little bit into the bottle here. It doesn't look, I mean, it doesn't look great, but it doesn't look horrible. So I think we may be okay. I'm probably gonna regret this later, but I'm gonna leave it as it is. I'm not gonna rip that fuel rail off if I don't have to. So I think the next thing that I should do is go after the fuel pump. I just put the new DME relay in there. Let's check and see if we can hear the fuel pump when I turn the key. So I'm pretty sure that gas that is in there is still good, because I have yet to put any more in it. I mean, I wouldn't say it's good, but also the alarm is still going off. Let's see. I did find the alarm key, so it just stopped. Let's I have no idea how to work it, so I don't know what that just did. Let's see. That is still going off. Let me get this key off of here. Honestly, it fired off really quick. Alright, so that's off. Yeah, so every time I turn the key off and then back on, it starts to click again. It is not killing ignition, which is weird. I guess maybe it doesn't. Alright, let me take the alarm module box back off, put the jumpers back in. That way that thing stops clicking. I mean, I guess it's okay. Let's... I mean, it's got to be getting some type of fuel, right? Because... Nah, she's dead now. Okay. Okay, so yeah. I've got to look up and see how I can test or jump to make sure that the fuel pump is working. So give me a minute and I'll bring you back. So it's been a couple days later. I've done a little bit of research as far as the fuel system. I believe on the right rear there is a fuel pump. So let's get down here and take a look. Let's see what we can see. So I believe, what's going on there? Oh, that's not good. Is that animal scratches? Let's see. See all those scratches? Almost looks like claw marks, which is strange. But I just noticed I've got a hole. Well, there's a hole there too, but I've got an extra hole in the rear. I guess that's the tire well. So I have to hammer that out and weld it back up. It's not too big of a deal. I could probably just hit it from the inside, pop that down. But what we are looking for is in here. I believe that is the fuel filter. Sorry, this light is all over the place. Actually no. I believe, where's my camera? I believe that is possibly the fuel filter from what I remember seeing. Huh. Also, this is my first time looking under this car. Honestly, for as long as it sat in the field, this doesn't look bad. I mean, that's not horrible. Somebody took the exhaust off. I can see the bolts have been put back in right there. So yeah, this is not as bad as I was expecting. I mean, yeah, it's dirty. It's got a bunch of vines and stuff growing down everywhere, but honestly, there is a small amount of rust right at the tip of my light. But that's surface and it doesn't look bad. Even the shock mount, which looks like it had been sitting in the ground, isn't bad. Yeah, actually you can see it's kind of like a line. Let's see here. You can see kind of like a line of where the mud stopped. So I think that's how far it was sitting in the ground. So not horrible. That is doing no more pumping of gas. Oh, hole there too. So I'm gonna say that's our gas line. Could possibly drain it here. I don't know. Let me do some poking around and see what I can figure out. Alright, so from what I can tell, I'm pretty sure the tank is already empty. With this brake being here and here, it would have run out. The only reason it may not have is right on the beam of light, the silver, that is a filter. It very well could be completely clogged to where nothing drained out, but that tank sounds empty. So I'm going to say, that we're probably good as far as the fuel system, at least the old gas that would have been in it. What came out of the fuel rail must have already been pumped up, and just the car wasn't running, so the gas went nowhere. So that also means that there's most likely no break in the lines. When you're looking under the car, come back over here. Forgot my light, but when you're looking under the car, the gas lines go right at the end of my finger and run to the front of the car. So they come back. There's a filter up there, very hard to see because I do not have my light. I do have my phone though. There we go. So the silver right there, that is the fuel filter. Comes down, that is the fuel pump. I don't think that it is the factory fuel pump. It very well could be, but I don't think so. So I need to replace this line here, probably along with most of the other rubber lines on this car. Hopefully the fuel line that does run to the front, right there, hopefully once it gets pressure they don't blow. If they do, that would stink, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So I mean, honestly, it doesn't look bad under here. I'm very happy with that. So yeah, I'll try to get all the parts that I need, at least that I think that I need for right now. I know I'm most likely going to need a rebuild kit for all of the brakes. Looking at the back brakes, they weren't very, the calipers didn't look very good, so I do have 2 other cars that have good brakes on them. I say good, I don't know if they are good, but if need be, I can get other brake calipers and such if these are too far gone. So I have a couple other calipers down in the back shed that came with the parts car, so that helps out greatly. As far as the engine bay goes, it is going to need a lot. I mean, basically every hose that I see looks like garbage. It's either been chewed on or it has cracked. This one doesn't look bad, but I'm going to say that it probably is. Sadly, I think each of those high pressure fittings, especially the ones that go on the fuel rail, I think they're about $100 each, which sucks. I need to most likely replace cap, rotor, all the wires. I need to go and rip the air box out of the black Porsche. I might go and do that now, actually. Let's go take a walk up there. All right, let's get you in here. I have absolutely no idea how to take any of this off, but I need all of it. This thing is super grimy. I'm pretty sure this sat back in the woods. The gentleman that I got it from said that his father would collect old cars and keep them as a insurance policy of sorts. Just as an investment, I guess, if you want to call it that. Yeah, so we're gonna need all of these vacuum lines. That is nice that these aren't trashed. This boot looks like it is starting to deteriorate. I can't get this vacuum line off though. Let me get some pliers. Can you see what I'm doing? There we go. So this car is actually a non-sunroof car, which was a option that, I guess that goes all the way over here, but there's a zip tie down there, and I didn't bring any snips. I think you had to purchase that as an option, which is kind of weird. Why would you not want the sunroof? I mean, yeah, it's on these earlier cars, it's not very functional because yeah, I'm pretty sure I need all of that. Let me take some pictures of how this is routed and where this goes. We got the video, but it's very nice to have pictures as well. So this car, if the wiring harness is in decent shape, I will be robbing that for the white one. That's going to be a way down the line type deal, but it will eventually need an upgrade because, shoot. It'll eventually need an upgrade because the one in the white car is just mutilated from the prior owner. The mice have gotten into it. This does not have much of a head left. Don't break, please. That doesn't feel great. Not going to lie. It just slipped. Yep. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Oh, I have no idea how that didn't break. Especially after it had rounded off. Is that even moving? I think it's just spinning, to be honest. Alright, I brought some clips, or not clips, snips. So that way I can get that vacuum line out of here. Maybe don't use that as something to pry on. Seems like it's probably not the smartest thing to do, but worked for me that time. Alright, this prize is free. Yeah, these boots, they still seem like they're in decent shape. Honestly, this car probably would drive, but I think the starter is maybe not necessarily bad, but hung up, because when I turn it, it doesn't do a single thing. Maybe a couple taps with the hammer, but it's just so nasty up here. It stays wet constantly. I don't feel like crawling under the car, to be honest. Hopefully I'm not in your way. I'm probably blocking your view, but alright, that should come off now, which is nice because I need that. I mean, it's still pretty flexible. Doesn't seem cracked. I mean, right now, before I go and order a bunch of parts, I just want to try to get that car to function. Alright, that's not connected. We need this off. Those little clips. So these took me a little bit to figure out. I hadn't seen any like these. There's a, kind of looks like a wire that clips around. You just got to pry them off to the side a little bit to be able to get the plug out. This car stinks so bad. It smells like a pond, like that fishy, muddy smell. This has the timing cover, or timing belt cover removed. So there's that. That hose, oh, that's part of the timing cover hose. Yes, I mean, who knows what the condition of this engine is. It does turn over by hand. Come on, almost there. There we go. All right, so that's free, that's free. What else do we need to remove? One last clamp, and then whatever's holding it in the corner. So it goes down into the fender there. I've got to figure out, looks like it pops free right here. I'll get it there. And then what size? Is that an 11? It's a 10.
anything. It's just stuck in the hole.
Is it just stuck in the hole?
Yeah. There's nothing attached to it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's got to be something attached to it.
No, look.
Huh.
It just stuck.
All right. Well, we'll have to take a look at that. There we go. Lost the nut.
See, it was stuck.
Oh, okay. Well, it isn't attached to anything. Good job, bud.
It's almost coming out.
Yeah, I think we're free. We are free.
I helped you. Like,
look at all the...
What?
So... Abe.
Oh, it's Mimi.
It's Mimi. You hear that?
Yeah. I helped you by saying it was nothing attached.
That was a good job, buddy.
Yeah.
So, look at that.
Ugh.
There's a mouse house in there.
Mouse house.
Yep. Two acorns just fell out, and
Yep.
I'm guessing filter paper. Look at that.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Another acorn. So yeah, that's gonna have to be opened up, but that frees up a lot of room to see in here. I do need to take something and plug that, just so nothing gets in it. Butterfly still opens fine. This is very, very corroded. Look at that cylinder head there. Very corroded. But there are a lot of good usable parts. There's more. It's a piece of wheat, it looks like, or grass. They had a good little home in there.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yep.
And I think all of them died.
Yeah, they're probably not in here anymore.
They probably moved since no people were in here.
So that is the main piece that I needed from this, so I guess we can go back into the garage. So I did just notice, I'm guessing the reason this cover was off, there's no belt. Missing the belt that goes on the alternator. Set the AC pump down there. And then there's also another pulley over here that it connects to, so that is missing. So it's been a couple days. I've got some parts that have come in. Hopefully we can get onto this front brake today. I've got a couple hoses and pads to go on the brakes. I'm missing one hose. It is still on the way. I've got some other parts coming. I've ordered all new rotors, flexi hoses, brake pads, just about everything that I can think of, all new belts, all the rollers, water pump, everything that I should need to get it up and going. I'm still waiting on parts. I have some here. I have 3 of the 4 flexi hoses, my belt tensioner pulleys and flywheel lock, all of that came in. Water pump, fuel or oil filter rather, the belts, filters, rotors, pads, sunroof seal, and then the hood struts. I did not get rear hatch struts because sadly, if you can see it over how dusty everything is, my hatch is delaminating. So I do have a good hatch on the red car, so I'm going to probably take that one and put it on here, and while this is off, see if I can fix the delamination. It seems like it's a pretty tricky process, so I don't know how that's going to go. I do have a buddy that has a spare hatch. He's the guy that I got the black parts car from, so I might pick that up just to have an extra. I mean, yeah, I mean, doesn't seal very well anymore, so. But anyway, let's get on to this front. So all I've done is take the wheel off, put a wheel on. I made sure to put one of my better tires on. We can't have any blowouts. I mean, she's ready for the track, honestly. So let's get these brakes sorted. I do still need to order new lug nuts. These are aluminum. When I first took them off of the car, I thought that they were a plastic cover, like the little fake ones, but nope, they are just aluminum. Super light. They feel like nothing. I'm not going to get aluminum again. Mainly because they are pretty soft, so I'm gonna go with steel. So I'm kind of sad that I bought rotors. These look perfect. A little bit of a grinder, they'd be back to normal. No, they're pretty shot. They would at least need a turn, if anything. She's a little dirty. I hope it comes back around. There's that one. And that one. Not really worried about soaking any of this because these pads are coming off anyway. Man, I really hope that these calipers are okay. I mean, honestly, they don't look bad. I thought they were way more rusty than they are, so might just luck out, but who knows. I'm afraid that I'm gonna mushroom it, and then we're gonna be in a world of hurt because it's probably not gonna go through there. Hey, that worked. Right on, and we got a little flying clip. All right, so that's one out. I just need to get this other one. That is definitely not the right way to do that, so. There we go. Luckily, if any of these parts are severely damaged, I do have those parts cards, so. Actually, yeah, 2 parts cards for this one. The red, yeah, these are gonna need to be put on the wire wheel. They're pretty grody. So the piston is not compressing, so let's take care of that. Here we go. Notice how nothing is coming from this way. It was only coming from that way, so actually it's still coming from that way. Stop leaking. So I'm thinking that's probably why it is not going to compress. So let's cut it in a different spot. Okay, we got flowage now. Let's see if we can compress this caliper. Yep, we're getting it. Yeah, just won't. So what I'm gonna do is fight this, and when I make some headway, I'll bring you back. Hey, we got one. Hopefully my big head wasn't in the way. Probably was. I don't know if I'm getting to this one. And number 2. Okay. So they're the same length, so we don't need to keep them in any special order or anything. So let's use the brake pad box to keep track of everything. Best thing about recording for YouTube is, well, I've got a playback of how everything goes back together, so that's always nice. Definitely moves, so that's something. Oh, hey, we're free. Let's get this brake caliper up on the bench and I'll bring you back. Now, on brake pad, those are like brand new. They have all the life left on them, but we have new ones, so no need of using the old ones. Let's not junk up our workspace. The floor is a good spot. That one was for sure seized. It is super grody too there. Another like almost brand new pad, just old. Yeah, I'm guessing that probably wouldn't be an issue to get back in there. Some type of pin. There we go. Alright. We got our two main pieces here. Let's put it in a vise. Looks like a vise to me. Good thing I had a vise over here. So yeah, I'll be able to clean that up pretty good. So we can get this out of the way. There's a little split right here. I'm gonna be, I guess since I've got to do a new piston, I mean, cause this, yeah, it does look fairly cracked right there, so dang, that sucks. I'm gonna have to get a whole new rebuild kit. And that means the tire money I had is going to be going into brakes. So there's that. Very carefully. I'm guessing the kit will come with a new one of these as well, but I was gonna try to take the calipers off of the parts cars, but most likely they're going to be the same anyway, so may as well be safe with your brakes and just rebuild them, because they kind of need those to stop. The project car that is outside, yep, seeing that just tore, so alright, we're getting a rebuild kit. Project car outside, drove that home 20 miles with 0 brakes. That was a little sketchy. I see little man's been out here doing his little experiments. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Oh, look at the sludge in there. All right, let's go back over to the other bench where we have better light. Let's get you in here. This is sludgy. Hang on. Pretty sure that gunk isn't supposed to be in there, along with the gunk that is down in here. Look at that. Oh, that's crazy. All right, so it's been a good couple hours later. I went ahead and cleaned up the piston and the bore, and it came back pretty nice. This surface here is a little pitted, but for the most part it is clean enough. So I only need to get the kit that has the rubber seals because the piston is good, so that's going to save me a good bit of money. It even has a little bit of resistance, so I think it's okay. So I went ahead and got some paint, just boring old red. That's all my store had really, so I'm gonna go with that. I've got this all cleaned up. I've started taping the parts that can't be painted, so I'm gonna finish that up, tape it up, get it painted, and then I guess it'll just be a waiting game for those parts to come in. So I did find in my stash a bunch more calipers, so if the back brakes or the driver's side has a bad piston or something like that, then I could possibly rob it from these. And then I've also got the black parts car and the red parts car, so if anything, I should be able to get enough parts to cobble the brakes back together on this. I can't see paying the money for that piston when it came out pretty much perfect, other than this surface, which, I mean, this is the most important one, so even the bottom looks great. So yeah, I'm gonna roll with it. But I guess for right now, I will get to painting. Alright, so dust cap comes off, or grease cap, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so I need to find an Allen key that's going to fit this, and then she's already moving. Let's get it a little bit more. There we go. So, yep, that was just hand tight. Hopefully the bearings are good. I mean, I will. The grease, it doesn't look horrible. I have a feeling, so kind of backstory, which I have told before. These vehicles, this Porsche, the red one with the roll cage, and the, like, I'd say maybe a half of a car, parts car, they bought them from a family friend who lived next door to the gentleman that owned these cars. What was his name? Anyway, I can't remember his name right offhand. Maybe Glenn? I can't remember. But anyway, so he specialized in Porsche. He had, I think, about 30, 40 of these 944s. He had some of the more rare Porsche. I got that air-cooled 911 engine. That was his. So the story goes, the red one was his race car, and I think this was his buddy's. That was the race partner, maybe? Is that? No, that's just grease. It looks like a seal. So they both did the racing thing. He was a fairly big name in the Porsche world. I remember seeing his name on, was it the Renless forums, or possibly whatever, the Pelican, maybe? I don't know. Whatever the most popular forums are. It's a lot of people talking about him on there. So, sadly, he passed away to a pretty horrific accident with a tractor. So these cars were left on the property. The family came in, they took all of the good stuff, obviously. Look at that. What is that? That's one of the, for that wheel spacer. So, sorry, I'm kind of all over the place tonight, but the family came in, took all the good parts, all the good cars, sold everything, as, you know, they should, I guess. And then these were left in the field. There was another one that was probably a parts car, but the gentleman that I got these from buried it and crushed it first, and then buried it with his big loader, the one that we use to load these cars. So that was kind of sad. I could have used parts off of that, I'm sure. Seeing as like some body panels, or actually a lot of the body panels, are not reproduced. So that's simple enough. There we go. Old rotor, all tired and worn. I did see that there. Is that like a balancing type deal? As you can see, it's sticking out. Well, maybe you can't because the lighting sucks, but there and there. Maybe it's something to do with balancing. So now I'm going to come in. That is incredibly light. I've got to say, a lot of the parts for this Porsche are way lighter than I was expecting. Especially that hood. Looks fairly heavy, but it is pretty light. So I'm gonna come in, clean this up pretty good. I may time lapse it. I'm trying to cut down on the time lapsing type sections. At least a little less than I normally do. And I know I've already got a good chunk in this video, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you like that kind of thing. If you don't like that kind of thing, I will definitely cater to what you like. So let's get in here. Clean this up really good. I'm gonna do all new grease in the bearings. Clean up the washer here. And then the outer bearing. I'm gonna take a look. Once I clean these up, if they look decent, I will run them and then change out in the future. I'm already waiting long enough for parts to come in, so I kind of want to put it back together. Maybe dumb, but it's not a hard repair to do. I mean, you take off the wheel and then you've got one thing that comes off, so not too bad. All right, so I got everything cleaned up here. I was gonna go ahead and pack the bearing, but I'm still waiting on the inner wheel seal to come in, so there's really no need in packing that and just having it sitting around getting dirty. So I'll probably put this in like a little container that I have over there so it'll stay nice and clean along with those parts. I cleaned this up as best I could. It's still a little dirty in spots, but for what it is, it's okay. I need to clean up the grease cap. I might give it a spray of like flat black paint or something. I'm not sure yet. Might just hit it with the wire wheel. So I guess the next step would be getting the backing plate off. Honestly, I might not even take it off. I might just clean it up where it is and spray it. So let's do that. Do the underside there, make it look a little bit more nice, and clean it up in there. And I guess we can go ahead and put the flexi hose on. So let's knock that out. wrench broke free a little bit. And if you're ever going to do this and you don't want to destroy the hard line, just before you go at it, just throw some heat on it. Pretty good fail safe. Also, don't use a shitty homemade wrench. There we go. So once you pry that out, this comes right out. Then you take your new hose, now we can go through and tighten the brake line back up. Alright, so one final little turn just to make sure that it's tight. And there we go. I'm going to do a really quick cleanup around the area, get all of this huge mess cleaned up, and then I'll bring you back when it's time to put the backing plate on and start reassembling the hub. Alright, so got the backing plate cleaned up here. It's not great. I could have sandblasted it, but I didn't feel like setting up my cabinet. So. And like I said, this is not going to be a nut and bolt restoration. I did go through and clean up everything as best I could without spending a ton of time on it. The mission creep is totally real. I find myself doing that way more than I should. Alright, so that's back together. Once the hub is put back together, then we can put all of that on along with the rotor, and then we can put the new calipers on with some new brake pads and a new flexi hose. So I'm kind of all over the place at the moment. I'm waiting on the rebuild kit for the front calipers. They're all painted, ready to go. Just need that to get here. I believe it's coming tomorrow. Today was a holiday, so mail didn't run. Let's get the back brakes off, get the rotor off. That way I can start cleaning up these back brakes. The rebuild kit is here for the back, just not the front yet. So may as well get a head start. Just as the front, this is pretty grody. So now's a good time to check these CV boots. Make sure there is no damage or leaks or any of that mess from them. So that's actually very good. Actually, I take that back. Yeah. It's not split all the way yet, but it is cracked. Oops, I was hitting you and you couldn't see. So just right here, a very small crack. Not a complete split yet, so no leaks. A little bit of something or another there. But yeah, these pads are really dragging. So we need to remove these two just like on the fronts, get this caliper off, and call her good. Alright, so then slide that off. Oh yeah, that's right. This has the hard line on it. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. So The rear has a hard line on it. Right here. Goes underneath. So from there, under there somewhere, connects in the back. Very similar to a bug design there, actually. So I put the top bolt back in this. That way I can, oh, that brake line does not look very nice at all, actually. I might be replacing that rear line, so let's see if we can crack this fitting loose here and get that off there. So I'm not even gonna play around with it. Oh, I think I got a little bit of movement. Oh, don't tell me it was the damn caliper moving. I don't think so, actually. So before you take the caliper off, make sure you get the hard line cracked. So that means, oh, she is moving. Sweet. So that means don't take the bolts out before. What is on fire? We can finally take this caliper off and maybe see what's on fire. Oh, what is that? That was a piece of metal, it felt like. It sounded like metal. Oh. Hey, she's down. Oh, what is that? That's the heat shield that's tore all up. That's... Alright, now we gotta get this spacer off of here. There we go. Damn. That is incredibly light. I'm so used to everything being so heavy on the bug. I mean, not heavy compared to most stuff, but like this is nothing. Hopefully this is going to hold. Can you see? Yes. Okay. Just got the pry bar kind of jammed in there. Hold it with my foot. Hopefully that'll work. Let's see. Oh yeah, beautiful. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Also, it's no wonder this car caught fire just now, because I mean, I've got vines everywhere, all out through here. So yeah, there's that. So I forgot that I even had this, and this will be the first time I've actually used it the correct way. There we go. That was actually way easier. And yes, that's what it was. It was stuck on those, great gosh. Look at all that. Yeah. So, I did not buy this. Here's a screw. That's or screw. Does that look like a screw? So I've got a spring that's fallen out. I actually have no idea how to service this. Okay, so that spring just goes right there. So not broken. But I do need to get this off of here because this is so incredibly seized. I got the rear brake off. I just backed off the little adjuster here. Actually, it moves pretty freely in that now. I just need to clean up the threaded side, but even that moves freely. So I'm keeping all the brake parts here. Here's the main spring that was at the top, I believe, holding it together. I'm gonna see how fast I can get a replacement here. If it is not fast enough, I'll just stick this back on until I can get the new kit in. So I do want to try to remove this backing plate. So how are we held on? I'm guessing that one. Yep, that one nut there. So yeah, I'm not gonna film taking this off, at least at the moment. I've got the parts car up there. I'll take the rear backing plate or dust shield, whatever you want to call it. I'll take it off of that one because it's bent here. So got a big old bend there, and it's actually missing metal down here, along with a dent there. So this actually doesn't look horrible. Very dirty, very grimy. Yeah, so this wasn't too bad. I'll get in there with a little wire brush, clean up everything, make sure it is nice and clean, but I don't need to bore you with that. It's been quite a bit of time on the brakes already. I did not film the front driver's side. I probably won't film the rear driver's side either, just because I've done it once. You don't need to see it 4 times, so or at least twice, one in the front, one in the back. So yeah, so I'm gonna clean up the caliper here. I've actually got the spare that I found. I'll pick and choose which one is better. This one actually seems to be in better shape, but I don't know. I guess we'll see once we get into it. So yeah, I'll bring you back after it's all nice and clean. No need in filming the probably hour or more that I'm gonna spend cleaning, grinding, hitting it with the wire wheel, taping it off, painting it, all that really boring stuff. So I actually find it very fun. It's kind of therapeutic. Put on some music, break out the wire wheel, and just clean the hell out of it. So I'll bring you back when that is all done. All right, so I got the seals out of the hubs. So now we need to grease these bearings, put them in there, and then put the new seals. Still waiting on the parts for the calipers, so we can't do them yet, but we can at least put the hubs back together. So let's see how this goes. Cool. That is in. Hopefully I didn't go too far. I think it just really needs to be flush. There is a lip though, so it should bottom out. Okay, so that's one. I'll probably speed this one up just so we can get through this because we've already done it once. So what feels like 100 years later, the parts I've been waiting on have come in. This was a separate order. It's the rubber grommet that goes around the key lock on the rear hatch. The one that's on there is completely gone. So this is the main parts we needed. The inner seal of the piston cup. In this channel here. So I will grease that up. Alright, so I had to get another battery. So I was putting this on. I could get my fingers under it. There goes one side. Very, very gently. Push it all the way back off. There we go. And that is one piston installed. Got that on there. Almost looks like a brake caliper again. Alright, bleed nipple is tightening down. So that's one completed. I'm just gonna knock out the other one and then I will bring you back when it is time to do something else. Sadly, I can't put these back together tonight like I wanted. So I guess tonight is going to be cleaning up the rear. So as I was cleaning up the bench here, I ended up finding the ring that holds that seal on that caliper. So make sure if you are doing this, you put this on. All right, so let's get this up back on here. Okay, so take the bearing and put it on the wrong way like I was doing. And our washer. So that's in. That is one completed brake caliper. Got the spring clip in, got the slide pins in, put the little clip on there to hold the slide pins. Flexi hose is installed. I've got the stamp of approval. The grease cap painted, cleaned, put back on. So this side is complete, along with the passenger side. So front end braking system, I believe, is complete for the moment. I will still need to bleed the brakes and finish the back as well. I've already got the one side off. Oh hey, what's that? That would be the new windshield. It just got done being put in. Urethane is still wet, but man, does that look good. Honestly, it's too nice for the car. For the brakes and the windshield now, it's starting to look pretty decent. So let me get to work on this back end. I'm just gonna bring you back when it is time to put everything together. There's no need to film painting all of that, especially with this video being as long as it is. So I'm gonna knock that out really quick, bring you back, and we will go from there. All right, so after an extremely long battle with these rear brakes, the rear calipers did not want to come free. The pistons were seized inside of the cup pretty bad. They both cleaned up. The lips are pretty rough, just like the others, but those are not too bad. Now that I'm at a point to where I can almost start reassembling these rear calipers, we need to move over here and figure out how to get this parking brake back on. Well, I don't know what's going on with my camera, but I've tried recording this like 3 times now. So this is how the brake shoes need to be laid out with your springs. The only part that I'm not sure of is this parking brake cable. It seems like it's a little bit too long, so I think I may need to go on the inside of the car and see if the parking brake is all the way down. I bought some Amazon batteries for my GoPro, and I think it was actually killing my camera. It was freaking out and not working right at all. So here is the assembly. Oh, you didn't see that. But yes, the parking brake was up. So that should have given... Can you see where it goes? Hey, I'm fixing those parking brakes for no reason, because look at that. That's my parking brake cable right there. And I'm pretty sure that pile of rust is what used to be that, so we're gonna have to do some repairing in there. But good thing about those brakes is we don't have to have the parking brakes. Alright, got the top one started. Also, does anybody else love getting covered in anti-seize? I can never put it on without getting it everywhere. Kind of like I just did. Alright, I'm gonna leave those a little loose for right now. Man, I tore these pads up, or the calipers up. That fresh, beautiful paint, not so much. I've got y'all completely on the wrong side, I'm sorry. Is that better? Yeah, much better. Okay, so get your pin in. Spring clip. So if you are doing this yourself, let's get the pins here. See the little hole? You need to clock that into the correct position to where when you put this on you put this on approximately like that. These little clips have to go through the pin holes. So it's kind of a fiddly job, but make sure you do it so that way the pins stay on. And your clip is on. All right, that is the brake caliper on. Only thing we need to do now is put this brake line back on. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a completed braking system. I ended up replacing the, well, not replacing, but I ended up putting the parking brake back in. I was able to go inside and just pull that wire a little bit just to tighten it up, so I was able to get that in, but I did have to go to the parts car. So this is the clip that holds the shoe on. You twist it and then it locks into place. It's broken. The very tip is broke off. It's supposed to curve back down a little bit more. Both of them were broken, so had to go to the parts car, rip those off of that one. Luckily they were still good. I did end up getting the screw off the parts car, so that is replaced as well. So for the moment, this is completed as far as the brakes go. I'm pretty sure the pedal moves freely now, so I don't think that there is an issue with the master cylinder. So the one that I have, I'll just keep that for the moment and just hang on to it just in case I need it. But I believe, other than putting some brake fluid in here, that we are good. So I'm going to top this up with some brake fluid, and then I'm gonna need somebody to come out here and help me bleed these brakes. Once that is done, we can move on to the engine. Honestly, I think after the engine is done, all we have to do is check the fuel system, make sure that the tank is not rusty and full of junk. We could probably take a look really quick. Might have enough time for that. Underneath there is access to, well, I'm pointing there, but that's not correct. There's a little mat right in that area there, and it comes up. You can get access to the fuel tank, and I believe that there's a cover you can remove to get into it. I was gonna do it now, but I think we'll wait, do that after the engine is done. I want to get all this mess cleaned up, get this workbench disassembled and out of the way probably put it back in the corner over there where the welder is. Get all of this cleared out because I'm going to get the parts car in here. Once the parts car is in here, I'll go through and strip the entire interior, everything that I will hopefully need for the interior of this car. Sadly, those seats are pretty busted, so I don't think I'll be using those. Not that you can see it, but right at the tip of my finger, there's a pair of seats underneath of my garage or shed lean-to over there. So they're pretty mint. Maybe not mint, but they're pretty nice. I think one very small tear on one of them. Other than that, they're good to go. It does suck because they're black, and this interior is going to be the tan and brown from the black car. This was a black interior. I don't know. I'll look at both interiors, see which one is in better condition. I know that the plastics in this is not great, so I don't know. I might have to run just a bare interior for the moment, but I'll make something work. I still need to get in here, fix the seat mounting locations, so let's get the engine going first. I'll probably bring you along when I do bleed the brakes, and then I've got a lot of wiring gremlins to figure out. I see a bare wire just hanging right here, and then underneath of the dash is just a nightmare. So still a lot of work to do. This is a very long video. I have been recording for weeks, mainly because the mail takes forever for parts to come in. So still need to get the strut on. I attempted to do that one day, one evening. I was like, hey, it's a quick and easy repair, and that's how I tore my hand up. The hood ended up falling on me. I can't compress this enough to get the pin in, so I just need somebody else to help me out here. But yeah, next up will be the engine. For me, it'll be a little bit, but for you, it will be right now. Well, now that the brakes are finished, we need to get into this engine bay and replace the belts and the rollers. I would like to be able to get in there and have it to run long enough to be able to see if the fuel system is good, but I don't want to grenade the engine with a broken belt. So I got in here, I took the cover off already. It's just a couple bolts that go along the outside. That way I could have everything kind of lubed up and hopefully easier to break free when we get into this. So I need to put my light up there, but this step, I've been very worried about doing this. It's kind of the biggest, I wouldn't say biggest. I've done head gaskets and such, but being an interference engine, it worries me a little bit. So I've got my good buddy Manuel here. We're gonna take a look at these pictures and a couple videos and get these rollers knocked out. I have no clue what I'm doing. This is going to be very interesting, so let's get to it. First thing that it says to do is come in here and cut these clips. We need to remove the electric cooling fan. They called them some kind of like specialty clips. They're just zip ties, at least on my car. So now we need to remove the 3 upper fan shroud bolts, but I don't see those. Alright, so there's 3 bolts underneath of the car for the oh, not that one. It's this one up here. There are 3 bolts underneath the car that hold the fan shroud on. I couldn't find the top ones. Looking at the Haynes manual, it just showed like a picture that didn't really show much of anything, to be honest. So still gotta find those. And it is like Antarctica in this garage today. Alright, 1, 2, 3. One of those is not like the other. Somebody has definitely been in here because I see writing on the bottom of the radiator here. So it looks like the radiator has been changed. The whole support looks like it's shifted forward a little bit. There's a bolt all wonky right there. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, let's just keep procrastinating so we don't have to do this. Been really dreading doing these pulleys and rollers and all that stuff. There's a couple spots where you have to cut the wiring harness off. Pull that down out of the way. Knock your light over. Yeah, I probably don't want to be underneath of that when I open it. A little bit of crud. So yeah, I need to find those top bolts now. I just cannot find them to save my life. I found one of the bolts so far. It looks like, honestly, that's the only one holding it on. Let's see. Where am I trying to look? Right at the tip of my light, at the very top corner. There's a bolt hole there. There's another one approximately in there, and then the last one, not sure you can see, there it is, top left corner. So just got to get in there. I had to move the coolant hose out of the way, and that's why I could not see them. But there's also two missing, so somebody's definitely been here, which was kind of known from all the other half-assed work that I've seen on this car. So I wasn't quite ready, but the fan is ready to come out, so I guess we'll take it out since it's trying to anyway. Alright, that gives us a little bit more room, which is very nice. So also give me a chance to clean that up. Get in here and clean some of this up. I'm thinking that's bent. Definitely seen better days, so. Alright, let's see what the next step is. Look at all the room for activities. Gotta get this cam gear cover off of here. Also, sounds like the trees are falling in on me. I think we might lose power. I see them flickering quite a bit. I had to use incredibly long bolts. There we go, sweet. So I'll need to get this cleaned up. There's a very bad looking seal right here. I'm gonna leave it alone. I have no idea what size that is. It's pretty small. That'd be a 7. I don't have a socket that small, sadly. Actually, I did. I don't know what I did with it though. There we go. Alright, we need to go underneath of the car now and remove the power steering pump belt and the accessory belt. We need to take tension off of this. So we're gonna, although that's already out, I'm not gonna say loose. Yeah, it is loose. So that's already loose. I just need to shorten this bad boy. Looks pretty rusty. Back and forth just a little bit to try to clear out some of that crud. So I'm kind of letting the mission creep get me on this one, but I would really like to take this off and clean it up, just because it is kind of a vital part. Like when doing this repair, you kind of need it to move nice and easy, so that way you can take the tension off the belts. So I figured it's a good idea. So there's been a little bit of a development. Got this cleaned up. Still need to, actually I don't even know if I'm gonna paint it. I might just clear coat it, leave it as it is. So you've got the piece here that goes through this side, and you've got your nut that holds it in place. Let me get it started. I don't think it's supposed to do that. Somebody's been clamping on with some vice grips. This thing is pretty bad. So I think this is left-hand thread. Looking at both of them together, makes sense, but the threads are different. So I'm gonna have to go to the store and get one of them. Not gonna do it right now because I can continue working for the moment. All right, so now we've got to get the starter out. It's held on by two 19s. Two 19s at the back. And then I'm pretty sure the wires are held on by an 8 and a 13. So, I think I got it. Now once I hit you, yep. Make sure you disconnect your battery before you start doing this. I don't even have a battery sitting in there, but I've never hooked it up since I bought it, so I don't have to worry. And now the 8. Alright, got those. Alright, now where's the other one? Let's see, right there. Alright, and the other side. Alright, well, she's free. Or rather, the bolts are out. I don't know how free she is. So that's one starter out. It just kind of fell out. Well, I was beating on it with a hammer and then it fell out. It didn't want to move, so it's out. I mean, it works. It's ugly. I'll probably just clean it up a little bit, throw some black paint on it just to make it look a little bit better. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about replacing it. It works. I don't see any need, and it's super easy to get to that spot, so I'll just replace it if I have to when the time comes. So I'm gonna get these nuts and bolts back on the starter just so I don't lose them, and then I'll move on to the next step. All right, so now we need to set this to top dead center. We're looking at this mark here. You're gonna need a 24 millimeter to go on the crank. You could do this pretty much at any time after you remove that starter. We need to do this to get it on top dead center to put the flywheel lock on. So we can really do it at any time, but doing it now makes it to where everything moves at the same time because the belts are on. So we need to keep turning this until that yellow lines up. And then we need to go back and check the little viewport, whatever you want to call her, and make sure that that timing mark lines up as well. If it does not, and this lines up but the back one doesn't, then we're 180 out. I think this spins twice for every one rotation of the crank, or maybe it's opposite, I can't remember. But if this one lines up but the back doesn't, then you're 180 out here. You just need to turn the engine over one more time. So while I was down there, I did not have the camera with me, but you need to take the 4 10mm bolts out for the accessory pulley. So now at this point, I believe I need to remove the main crank because I am kind of diverting from the belts and to do the water pump while we're in here this far. So there we go. So I've got to take the pressure off here. Actually, we can go ahead and completely remove this belt. Oh gosh. Come on here. Actually, it doesn't look bad or worn at all. I'm kind of thinking that dude did a little bit of stuff to this before before it got parked up. Longest bolt in existence. There we go. That is, well, I was gonna say probably not come off without a fight, but honestly that was incredibly easy. So, as far as the rollers, I guess we can just go ahead and take these off. I've got new. I mean, they don't look bad, really. That one's pretty rusty. Let's hope I have that one right. So we need to take this guide off here. I did, so when I originally took this cover off, a nut fell just out of the casing. I was like, ah, that's no good. So it looks like the stud for the little piece here is broken off, so I don't know what that's gonna mean. Hopefully that's an easy fix and we'll never see that again. That's cool. That could possibly be bad. That doesn't move. There we go. So the stud here, that it isn't broken, has an Allen key. It looks like you can thread it into there. So I'm gonna have to go get a bolt extractor kit and see if possibly I can get that one out. That's kind of really the only thing I can do. This is what we're trying to get to, the water pump. So I've got to remove these real quick and we can get to doing the, way too big. Then we can get to doing the water pump. So I'm gonna zip those off real quick and then I'll bring you back when I have that cover off. Alright, so we gotta pop these off. This is where you have to use the special tool to get these off here. So this one was pretty easy because I just let it sit on the water pump. Everything is super gummy feeling. I'm pretty sure that was anti-seize. Alright, so I got those rollers off. I don't quite, yeah, I don't think I have to do that down there. Yeah, that's got a hole around it. So all of those are off. It's a couple 10mm bolts that I need to go through and zip off of here, and then we can get this back plate off and finally have access to the water pump. While I'm in here, I'm going to clean up as much I can. I'm not sure how much help this engine is going to need, but so yeah, I'll do this, bring you back. Now that I've got those off, we can take the back shroud, I guess, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, the rear timing cover. There we go. Wow, that's dirty in there. Super grimy, but it's all good. So now we have access to the water pump. I tried to drain the radiator. There was not a drop of... Hello. There was not a drop of liquid in it, so I don't know what's going to come out of the water pump. We need to remove these water hoses, but this just looks like a homemade hose. So the end of that hose or pipe rather, was rusted and it just collapsed. So I'm gonna have to repair that. Looks like, yeah, it looks like that might come off pretty easy. So I could probably rob that off the black car. No biggie. We are now to removing the, like, I don't know, 11, 12, 13 bolts, something like that. Or nuts, rather. Oh yeah, and then don't forget the lower hose. So just got a glimpse of the thermostat, and I'd say she's pretty mint. Looks pretty good, right? Alright, let's zip these off. Oh, you don't want to sit here and watch this? Nah, I'll bring you back. So I've got to say that those came off extremely easy. Oh wow, it's probably not good, right? What is that? That came out. And isn't this a water pump? Why is there oil? Well, I don't know what that means, but we're going to just gonna ignore it. Okay, I'm gonna call that good. Might clean some of this other crap out of the way. Yeah, I'll get in here with a little brush and I'm gonna clean all this up pretty good. It's gonna be a little loud for the moment. I've got the heat on. I don't know if these little baby pliers are gonna do anything or not. So I got the old C-clip out of the well, old water pump, so we need to put the thermostat in. Also, there's no seal. Why would it not come with a gasket? The old one didn't have one either, did it? I don't know. This one is not in the best of shape. I'm just gonna see if we can clean this up at all until, I mean, the thermostat honestly isn't a hard thing to replace, so I can always replace this seal once I order a new one. It's just kind of weird that it didn't come with one. I don't know. It might work. And if this one doesn't work, the parts car might have one. Definitely seems better. Alright, so we've got that on. The new gasket. Actually, we've got to take the old gasket off. Alright, she's done. Let's call it a day. Oh, nice. So, that guide that was broken, it's on the water pump. So I don't even have to fix that. That made my life so much easier. That is amazing. Okay, let's zip these bolts back in and we'll call it good. Alright, we've got this one to put back on. Goes right beneath that roller there. So this has been a little bit more tricky than I thought, so I didn't have the camera running for some of it. I originally had the main crank gear on the engine already, but then I couldn't get the belt past it very easy, so I went ahead and took it back off. So I need to put it back on, torque it back down, but I'm not gonna record that since I already did it the first time. So as I was putting the other belt on here, I noticed that it wasn't quite sitting on this pulley all the way. And I thought that that was kind of weird because it was kind of making it, was making the belt twist slightly like that. And I was like, it seems like that might pop off. Well, it turns out I didn't tighten the pulley up here, the roller. So that is not even supposed to touch. That's why you need to take your time when you're doing this. I'm gonna get down there and do that up. I'm ready to finish this part up, so I will bring you back when that's done. Alright, so I've got the flywheel lock off. Need to do 2 rotations just to make sure that all of our marks line up. Alright, we should be back at top dead center. Let's find the light. We've got one that lines up, 1, 2 that lines up, and 3. Let's see. There we go. Oh, your screen must be dirty. There we go. So you want to mark it, line the mark up with that little nub. There's a notch on the back of that pulley there, or gear, tooth, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so now we just need to check one last spot to make sure we are at top dead center. Or rather, I need to check because you're not going to be able to see. I can't see it, but it's down there. Okay. I think we are good to start buttoning this back up. It's pretty exciting. I need to put the accessory pulley back on the crank and then run the accessory belt on there. Yeah, then I guess start putting covers back on. Covers, rotor, cap, all that. So, yeah, you don't need to see me put it back on because I took it off, so we'll bring you back when that's done. So now that we've got the engine put back together, as good as I'm going to for the moment, I've cleaned up as best I could. Still a little bit more to do in there, but for now that's good enough. Next up is going to be the clutch slave cylinder. I have no clutch pedal at all. It just flops back and forth. It's shot. So I don't know if that one just needs to be rebuilt or if I should replace this one. I don't know if this is even good quality. So let's get underneath there. All right, so the prize that we are after is right here. Looks like 13 maybe. It is. So we've got 2 13s to remove, but before I do that, I need to get up here and see if I can see the hard line that goes to it. See if I can get you in here. That's what we're after right there. I think the light is flickering, but for the moment it'll have to deal. So yeah, there's that. So it's starting to strip already, so what I'm gonna do is get some vice grips, put it on there, put some lube on there, possibly some heat. There looks like there's quite a bit of stuff that would catch fire right here. That looks like fiberglass, so maybe not. We'll see what we can do. Okay, so we're not even gonna mess with the other one. It was a replacement as well. Alright. I think that's about as tight as I'm getting her. Now, nope. Nope. Alright. This is very difficult. Okay, let's get the bottom bolt in. Come on, don't slip, don't slip, don't slip. Ah, you did. My arms just don't bend the way I need. I think I got it started. We only need one bolt, right? Sadly, we need both. Alright. All right. Whew, that was a task. All right. Well, it is now another day. Sadly, I cannot finish the clutch at the moment. I ordered the slave, but I did not order the master cylinder, so I can't finish right now. So I've got the brakes being held down. They are actually bleeding pretty good. I read somewhere that if you just leave it for like an hour like that, it makes the bubbles a little bit smaller. I don't know if that's true, but hey, we'll try it out. So since we can't do anything with the clutch at the moment, I guess the next thing we need to do is go over this fuel system. I want to try and have this at least running before the end of my days off this week. So let's go over the fuel system, see if we can get that working, make sure the tank is good, make sure the lines are good, make sure the fuel pump is even working. I've got a new fuel filter to put on, and then we can go over the cooling system, make sure that's good, and then possibly run the engine. So let's get in this little hatch here. Nice, easy access. So we just need a couple Allen keys. And let's see. I'm gonna snap a picture of that with my phone really fast so I know which wire goes where. Alright. Hold that down out of the way. It's the first try. Ooh, very nice. Alright, well, that was easy enough. Well, that wasn't very tight. Is that a good or a bad sign? This one's tight though. Not really. Yeah, maybe these don't need to be incredibly tight. I would think. Be a good idea since the gas is in here, but who knows? Oh Lord, is that the smell of the gas tank? Now, can we get this up without destroying it? Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna get a vacuum really quick so I can get all that crap from around it. All right, let's see what we can see. Oh, what is that? Honestly, other than the pile of crap at the bottom, that's not bad. Doesn't look super rusty. I think I got super lucky that, the inlet hose at the bottom, or outlet hose, broke. So I think that's what saved the gas tank. I'm not quite sure what this white powdery stuff is. I'm thinking it is something off of the fuel pump that I just took out, maybe some type of corrosion. So I'm gonna try to put a hose on my vacuum because I don't think the vacuum pipe will fit in here, and I'll suck that out. But like honestly, the rest of it doesn't look bad. So I'm happy with that. Well, they were decent. Still a little bit down there. I think it's just corrosion from the fuel pump though. So for whatever reason, I've been calling this a fuel pump. It's actually the sending unit. I'm just an idiot. So the fuel pump is actually underneath the car. Get that back on. That back in. I'm pretty sure it was like this. Alright. I guess stick that there. Alright. Alright, well, that's done. Still need to do the fuel filter. I'm probably going to leave that for another day. The fitting there is slightly rounded before I even did anything to it, so I'm going to assume that's not going to come off very easy. Yeah, I might leave it. I don't know. We'll see. Brakes are pretty tight now. I still need to get my wife out here to help me just to make sure that I've gotten everything out. I've got pretty much as much air out as I can get by myself just by hitting it a few times and then putting a board in there to hold it. So once I have somebody else to help me out with that, I think then we'll be good to go. So I guess next we'll be testing the fuel pump. So let's get this battery hooked up and get inside to see where relays and fuses and such need to go, because that whole underside is a huge mess. So yeah, there's that. Took the cover off here. So this is exactly the reason why I wanted to get this out of here. Yeah, so I'm gonna continue. This side's free all the way up to the middle. Need to get that out. Release a couple over here, one on the inside. It is, see the bracket? There's a bracket on the other side. Get that out of there. It's not a very hard dash to take out. Actually, pretty simple. So. And there we go. Now, I'll be able to get in here and fix all the damage that the previous owner did. There's just bare wires hanging. There's cut wires, plug here that has nothing. This looks like it was made and put in here. Some kind of relay. So I've got to figure out where all those wires go to. Yeah. And then I'm going to assume this is the radio harness. I'm going to go to the black car and cut that out. Probably a good ways up the line so I can run it better. And then we've got the not that, this would have been the antenna. I'm gonna rob that off the other car as well. Figure out what this is. I'm going to assume probably the speakers, and then there was another one as well. So get in here, clean it up, vacuum up all the mouse stuff. But yeah, that was actually pretty easy. It took me about an hour and a half to figure out how to get it out of the black car. I did that first kind of as a trial run, and then once I knew what I was doing, this came out super quick. So if you're doing it yourself, there's a bolt up here behind the A-pillar cover, and then there's one inside. There's one here that you have to get from the inside. It's a total pain. If you take out the speedometer, you can get in there with a 10 mil, get that off of there. There's a screw for this side. I don't know why they didn't do it for that one, but that bolts in right there. And then there's just a couple over on this side that hold the glove box and the bottom cover on, along with one on the bracket just like the other side, and one up top behind the A-pillar cover. So pretty simple for a dash. Now you do have to take off the faceplate, this part here. There's a couple screws to pop that off. These heater control switches, I mean, you can't really tell what this is because it's the back side right now, but the knobs that go through the faceplate here, they just pull out, and then you can remove the faceplate and work with taking that out. There's two 10 mils that go into the firewall here, or the tunnel. So yeah, I'm gonna work on cleaning this up. It's the end of the day for me, so I cannot work anymore until tomorrow. But we've got one more day of vacation, so hopefully tomorrow I can at least finish the wiring, put the dash back together. Actually, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was going to take the interior out of the black car, which it is brown and tan, and put it in here, but this black actually doesn't look too bad. The tan carpet, this side is like green and mossy and horrible, so I don't think it'll come back. but this black doesn't seem too bad, so I might take it out, throw it in the washer or something, and see if it'll come back. The panels are in good shape, so the dash is typical for these. It's all cracked up and broken, but I'm going to go through and seal all the cracks, fill them in with filler, and then I've got a carpet kit that goes on top of the dash. So yeah, I'll bring you back when there's more work to do. Well, another day of working on wiring. Went a little crazy with the wiring. It was all really bad, so I went and rewrapped basically all of it. All that I can get to anyway. Still need a couple pieces in here to be wrapped up, cleaned up. But my clutch slave cylinder came in. Let's get in here, remove the clip that is holding it to the pedal, so we can remove the slave cylinder. So it is gonna be over there where I can't see. Huh, how am I gonna get in there, do that, and let you see at the same time? Huh, this is hard to get in here. And I don't have the dash in, so I can't imagine doing this with the dash in. Alright, I don't know if you can see it or not. Yes, you can. So there's a clip right there. You need to remove that to get the pin out, so you can take that push rod out. So where we need to be is in that area. So let's get some of these vacuum lines out of the way. I'm thinking I can disconnect it from here and here and move that whole thing over. That vacuum hose has seen better days. So let's just do that. Oh look, that one broke too. Well, that sucks. Where does that go to? Is that the vacuum? Yep. That goes to the vacuum canister in the wheel well there. Well, that sucks. I need to get some new vacuum hoses. There we go. Get that out of the way. It ain't much left of that damn thing. Okay, that ain't working. But I just need some slack. Yeah, there we go. Sweet. Okay. Now I just gotta finish getting that. Are y'all even looking at what I'm looking at? No. So, master cylinder's free now. And it's just turning. Alright, let's see here. Where can I put you? Okay. Huh. There was absolutely no fluid in that. Oh yeah, I guess not, because it needs to go through. Yeah, okay, never mind. But that means the slave cylinder was not getting any fluid whatsoever. that's off. Yeah, it looks pretty grody in there. So I think I'm probably going to yeah, that was not doing anything. Oh, look at that. Oh God, all over my arm. Did you catch that? Good job, dummy. Well, I mean, it pushed fluid, but it's just mud coming out of there. Okay, well, I'm gonna go check out the push rods. I might just use this one since it's already set. And if it's the same as the other one, then we'll be good to go. Okay, so they're exactly the same. And that sucks, I just dropped that. The only difference is this piece would have to be put on here. Since it's already set, I am going to leave it exactly the way that it is. I took it out, put it on the wire wheel, cleaned it up, so it's like brand new again. It'll be facing that way. I'll stick it right back in, hook it up, be good to go. Alright, so off camera I went ahead and knocked out these seat mounts. They're not pretty, but they're in there, they'll hold. So I had taken these brackets out of the black car that's over there, and the threads were fine, everything worked fine. When I put this in place after it was already welded here, I went to tighten the screw down and the threads were just spinning, so I was able to put a little bit of a tack there just to keep it from moving. That way I don't have that same issue, but it is done. I used the seat from the black car just to make sure that everything was in the correct location. The seat rails were actually good in that car, so actually I take that back. They were good on the driver's side, passenger side not so much. But I've got tracks that I can use from another seat, so that's okay. So I'm going to do this same process to the passenger side. After that, so while I was welding that one in, the floor got a little hot and I burnt a hole through my gas line, so that kind of sucks. It's, I guess, maybe a gas line. It could be a return line, I'm not sure. So there's two metal lines that run here in this area somewhere, pretty much below that mount. Two metal lines that are going front to back, and then there's a plastic line in that same clip, and that one melted through. So I think if it is a gas line, I'm not sure why they'd be three, but if it is, all I need to do is just take a bigger piece of hose, put it on there, splice it together, we're good to go. Yeah, so let me get over there, knock that out. The only other welding I need to do, if you can possibly see the light in the corner there, I need to do that. Wiring is, I believe, all good to go. I'm waiting on some little dash bulbs, and then I'll put the dash back in. Actually, before I put the dash back in, I'll put the carpet in, and then we'll go from there. So alright, so I've got most of the interior back together. Still got to put the cluster back in there with the gauges and hook all those lights up. Carpet needs to be cleaned again. It's still not beautiful, but it is a carpet. I was going to replace these with the black pieces from the other car, but it's made onto that, and it'd be more of a pain than I want to mess with. So I think that is decent. I mean, the interior still sucks. It's not great. Eventually the doors will be replaced with the doors on the black car over there, so the door cards be brown. I was going to just swap them over, but since I'm replacing the entire door, what's the point? So I need to put these seats back in. Most of the interior stuff I'm not recording. I believe I recorded tearing it apart. I'm not quite sure. I can't remember. It's been so long since I've started on this already, so I've kind of lost track of what I have and haven't done. I'm going to drop these seats in here really fast, get the cluster in. After those are in, it's time to hook a battery to this thing and see what does and does not work. Battery had already been on it prior, but I've torn apart stuff, I've fixed wiring, so hopefully no fireballs, but we'll see. So I've got the dash back in, gauge cluster back in, the interior is together except for Well, I've got a driver's seat, but that's about it for the moment. Let's hook this battery up. See, we've got headlights. Make sure, oh, we've got running lights. They definitely were not working before. What is that? Hey, the fog lights work even though they're busted. That's cool. So we've got fog lights. That's this garage is an absolute mess. This interior is an absolute mess. Black and brown and plaid and tan and all that. I mean, okay, so I guess that's... Oh, does the key have to be on? Hey, the key might have to be on, genius. Look at there. Oh, we've got 2 working headlights. That's amazing. Let's see. I'm guessing it's supposed to flash, but it is not. That light works for the defrost. That's cool. Oh, look, we've got lights there. They definitely were not on before. I mean, yes, this is different parts and such. So that's working, so that's good. Clock, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure what this switch is supposed to do. Might help if the car is on. These were working. Is the fuel tank saying that it's full or empty? I'm guessing that's full, so that's probably broken. That's fine. Huh. Dang, I wish my starter was... Also, I have a brake pedal now, so that's amazing. And I slightly, like barely have a clutch. But it's getting there. So I've still got an interior to put together. I mean, it's not going to be beautiful. It's the shitty old carpet from the other car. Still need to put the glove box and stuff back in, but I had to clean that up. Hey, we do have a turn signal. Looks like that one's working too. Sweet. So there's been a little bit of a development on the car. Interior is back in. I did record some of that. Well, I say that the interior is back in, but not all of it is at the moment. The seats are in. The passenger seat is actually pretty decent. Driver's side, not so much. It's got a tear at the bottom and on the bolsters like normal. Carpet is not great. It is the original carpet that was in the car. It's got holes, it's got tears, rips, everything like that. It is mismatched at the moment. As you can see, some brown items, some black items. It's a hot mess. I do have the rest of the interior of this black car that I can put in. As far as door panels, they will match the A-pillar covers that are just bent up there. I have the brown ones to go in. I've got to finish the glove box. Just small items like that. But, as you can see in the clip before, the car does run. So that is pretty amazing. And then you see that. That's not the worst of it. It was much worse looking before. Yeah, I got the magical milkshake making car. It turns out that the oil cooler seals have most likely gone bad. All the water that is in this is all the water that I put in the radiator because the tank is now empty. I did have to replace the radiator. I didn't record that. So the original one that was in there, I put water in it and it immediately pissed out all over to the floor. So I put the radiator from the black car in this one because it was holding coolant in that car. So I know that it is at least capable of holding fluid and not going all over the floor. It took me 3 times of filling up the radiator, fixing a leak, cleaning the garage floor, and doing all of that. So the hose right here, forgot to reconnect that, so that leaked. Bottom radiator hose, I forgot to tighten that, so that leaked. There's also another hose, I think it's a pipe that runs along there that I had undone when I did the reference and speed sensors, whatever they are. The reference sensors. So it now holds water. Got it to run. Granted, not very good because I'm sure it has some old gas in the line still, but it did run nonetheless. So I've now got more work because of this. I definitely can't run the engine like this, so I've got to get in here. There's a cover that you can't see that I need to replace. Or I don't need to replace the cover, but I need to replace the seals that are behind that cover. So that's going to be a little bit more work. I've got the parts on order, so hopefully I can get them in probably by the end of this week, middle of next week. So I've got more work to do, for sure. I've got rear axle boots to do, the boots for the front steering rack. These 2 guys here, which means I've got to take the tie rod arms off and do that. But I'm not going to record any of that. I will bring you back if there's some interesting or catastrophic problem. But for the most part, I just want to finish this poor car up, at least for this video. In the recording, or in the editing process, I'm already at like 2 hours on this video, and that was before I got the engine to actually run and finish everything else. So it's quite a long video. Hopefully everyone will enjoy it. Yeah, quite a bit more work to do, but I'm going to do the majority of it off camera, and then I will bring you back when it is more fun stuff. Yeah, we're getting there. I've got 1 stud coming out here, and then I've got these other 2 to take off. So far, only 2 studs have been left behind, and this one was missing altogether. So I did also get this piece off the what's left of the black car. I didn't record that either, sadly. I do have some pictures, but me and the grinder had fun. So this is the pipe that goes here, and I can't remember if I showed it or not, but the end of mine was completely rotten off, or rusted off rather. So I've got a replacement. I'll clean it up on the wire wheel, possibly paint it, I'm not sure, but yeah, let's crack on. I've got the water drained out of it now. This is going to be a process for sure. So there's that. Look, that's broken, isn't it? Look, and that's broken. There. There. Yeah, that's the gasket. Yeah, so that's part of the issue. See that? That is supposed to be solid round. And then you've got this one is also broken. It's supposed to be that one there. So, yeah, I'd say she was bad. Probably not so much the the seal that's on this. Probably more this gasket here. But we for sure found the problem. Hopefully the engine is not absolutely trashed. Okay, so she's off the jack stands, got the engine back together, got the cooling system back together, the oil cooler. I ended up having to replace the actual cooler itself. You will be able to see it. See how that top like nipple, that boss there, it is angled. It's not supposed to be that way. It is bent. I'm guessing that's why this car was parked. It was put in there incorrectly, oil and coolant mixed, and they had an issue, so I guess they parked it. This parts car has come, it's just been invaluable. The amount of parts that I had to take off of it for this car worked amazing. So let's set you up, see if we can drive out of the garage. Hey, guess what I'm doing? That cheapy carbon monoxide detector does not like this car. So as you saw in that video, she drives. Surprises the shit out of me too. We still got a lot of work to do though. There's that. Cannot see out of any of the windows except for the windshield. That's good. Let's see. Damage. We've got welding to do. body work to do. Bumper to find. It's actually in the pile of parts for this car. We've got the taillight that I need to replace. I've got the other good one up there. There's a small dent here that I gotta fix. Actually, I have a whole new body panel for it. I might be buying a parts car that I'll replace this whole panel, but for now I have maybe to here. Might be able to work some magic with some Bondo. Who knows? It's not going to be a perfect car by any means, but if I can make that look any better, then I will definitely try. This side isn't as horrible. I believe, yeah, this door is staying. Passenger door is being replaced. This fender is being replaced along with the one over there. Actually, these two fenders will be going with the red car whenever I sell that one. Interior is coming along. Still got door panels to replace. None of the electrics really work. We do have headlights, they work. Speedometer doesn't work, tachometer doesn't work, fuel gauge doesn't work, water temperature doesn't work, oil pressure works, clock I'm not sure. Let's see, radio? Let's just turn that off. How do you know if the clock's working? I think if you pushed it, it's probably not good for it. I'm not sure. We got that. We do have headlights. But yeah, she's a car again. Hey, we got a dome light. What's the chances of that? I need the clips for these mirrors, and I want to get them relatively quick so they don't bend like the others were. I mean, they're in pretty nice shape. So once I can get them up there, hopefully I might leave them like this, folded down. So I've still got some headliner to do. The back seat needs to go in. It's just placed there. The rear brake light needs to be placed back there. Need to put a mirror. Still got this panel to go on. The panel that goes there, I am going to be painting this car, so that panel actually has a fabric that goes behind the gasket for that quarter window. So I'm going to be replacing those gaskets because those are old. So when I do that, I'll take them out, paint the car, and then I'll put this piece in. I've got this one here, and as you can see, it's just kind of laying over top of it, so it doesn't look finished. See here? Just folds back. I've got to do all of that, so I did get the old headliner out of the black parts car. This was a non-sunroof car, so I've got all this material. I think I can make this little bit of stuff that I need, because it's just glued on there, honestly, so I think that I can make that happen. But yeah, I'm pleased with her. I do have this dash mat to cover up the cracked pieces, but I don't know. I don't know what I like better. So there she is. She doesn't run the greatest. Granted, I do have the old spark plug wires, the old spark plugs, the old rotor and cap, and I'm sure it still has a ton of old fuel in it. I did get some fuel system cleaner. I don't know if it's going to do any good, but it's got to help some, right? I did put premium in it. Hopefully it helps clean up whatever old crap is in there. I don't know if I'm out of time or what it is, but the engine is very choppy. Also, as you heard, it has no exhaust. It sounds like a tractor right now. but she's there. She's driving. Granted, not the best, but she does drive, so I'm very pleased with it. It's still dirty, cruddy, very ugly, but the next video will be body work. Let's make this turd look a little bit better. After a very, very long time, the Porsche is running and driving. I can't remember the years. I think it was like 2010 on the license plates from what I saw. So somewhere around in there. So what, 15 years this year that it's been off the road? Quite a few of those years it was sitting in a field with like one wheel on it, I believe. Pretty much just sitting in the dirt. So to go from that to this, I'm very, very pleased with that. So until the next video, which will be bodywork and paint, it's going to be a while. Life has been extremely busy. I'd like to thank you for hanging out. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. It helps me out a ton. We're nearing that 1,000 mark. Still got a long ways to go, but we are getting there. So I appreciate all the new viewers that we've had, all the new subscribers that we've had. I'm sorry it is taking this long for this video to come out. This car kicked my ass for sure. After getting it to run and then draining the oil, seeing the milkshake that it was a devastating blow. Turns out it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It was just the little oil cooler down there. I'll see you in the next one, hopefully with a finished garage and more cleaned up garage and more exciting content for the Porsche. So thank you for joining in on this video. It was a long one. It was a tough one, but it was worth it.